When facing a long prison sentence, some undocumented migrants don't go quietly. One threatened the judge.
Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you. I'm a Jew. I'm gonna take your life if you don't let me out of here. Okay?
Another vowed to kill again.
I will break out soon, and I will kill more.
In this one, he owned up to his crimes and apologized.
I want to apologize to my community, my Latino, Hispanic, Mexican community.
Their reactions couldn't be more different. Let's take a closer look at how undocumented migrants respond when the verdict hits hard. Brandon Ortiz Vite. Brandon Ortiz Vite, a 25-year-old from Mexico, was charged with murdering his girlfriend Ruby Garcia in Grand Rapids, Michigan on March 22, 2024. The attack happened during an argument inside her car. Ortiz Vite shot Garcia multiple times while she sat in the driver's seat. Believing she was still alive, he walked around the car and shot her in the head. He then dragged her body out and left it on the side of US 131 near Leonard Street Northwest. A Kent County officer later discovered Garcia's body. It appeared she'd been run over by a vehicle. Her abandoned car, riddled with bullet holes and blood, was found the next day in a residential area near South Haven. 2 days after the murder, Ortiz Vite called 911 from a church in Allegan County.
Hello, I'm at a church right here on Blue Star Highway. I'm calling because I want to turn myself in for a murder that I committed 2 nights ago.
He confessed to shooting Garcia during the argument, leaving her body behind and abandoning her car. He was charged with second-degree murder, carjacking, carrying a concealed weapon and other firearm-related crimes. He had previously been deported to Mexico in 2020 after being arrested for drunk driving and driving with a suspended license. But he later re-entered the U.S. without going through immigration checks. On November 7, 2024, Ortiz Vite was sentenced to at least 39 years in prison for Garcia's murder.
This, sir, was a cold-blooded, intentional killing. This young lady was shot several times, and then you put the gun right to her head and pulled the trigger. There is just no reason for this, no justification, no excuse whatsoever. You, sir, are a cold-blooded murderer.
However, Ortiz Vite apologized in court.
I want to apologize to my community, my Latino, Hispanic, Mexican community. I am a proud Mexican national whose actions have brought great shame and dishonor to our people who come to the United States and search for a better living.
The case drew national attention and even brought Donald Trump to Grand Rapids. But some community members criticized the political spotlight, worried it could unfairly stigmatize immigrants. Kent County Prosecutor Christopher Becker emphasized that the case should be seen for what it truly was, a brutal act of domestic violence. Up next is another case involving a Mexican national. But unlike Ortiz Vite, who killed his girlfriend, this individual took the lives of multiple law enforcement officers. Luis Bracamontes. Luis Bracamontes, a Mexican national and convicted drug dealer, was behind the brutal killing of 2 police officers in Northern California. On October 24, 2014, he opened fire on 3 sheriff's deputies near Sacramento. Deputy Danny Oliver and Detective Michael Davis were killed. A 3rd officer and a civilian were also wounded. Bracamontes was in the U.S. illegally at the time. He had already been deported twice, first in 1997 after a drug conviction in Arizona, and again in 2001. In between, he was arrested again in 1998 but released by Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Using the fake name Marcelo Marquez, Bracamontes went on a violent rampage with a female accomplice. After killing Deputy Oliver, he carjacked several vehicles and shot a driver. Later, in Auburn, he murdered Detective Davis and seriously injured Davis's partner. He was caught after an intense manhunt. During his trial, which dragged on for 4 years, Bracamontes repeatedly disrupted the court with violent outbursts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please step out of the hallway.
Dead. I will break out soon, and I will kill more.
He was sentenced to death in 2018. This case became a flashpoint in 2014, during heated debates over President Obama's immigration policies. It resurfaced in 2017 when President Trump invited the widows of the slain officers, Jessica Davis and Susan Oliver, to his first address to Congress. Now let's move on to the next case, another tragic story involving an undocumented immigrant, an NFL player, and a fatal crash. Jose Ibarra. Jose Ibarra, a 26-year-old from Venezuela, is accused of killing 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley at the University of Georgia on February 22, 2024. He faces several serious charges including murder, mistreatment of a body, kidnapping, and stopping a 911 call. Police say Ibarra attacked Riley while she was jogging on campus that morning. Her body was later found in a wooded area near Lake Herrick, after a friend reported her missing. An autopsy confirmed she died from a severe head injury caused by blunt force trauma. Investigators say Ibarra prevented Riley from calling for help, used an unknown object to cause the fatal injury, and then moved her body to a more hidden spot. Ibarra has pleaded not guilty to all charges, so the case is heading to trial. Prosecutors are seeking life in prison without parole. A grand jury has indicted him on 10 charges, including murder, kidnapping, evidence tampering, and even being a peeping Tom. During the investigation, his brother Diego Ibarra was also arrested. He had a fake green card and prior arrests for DUI without a license and shoplifting. The Ibarra brothers lived near Milledge Avenue, just under 2 miles from where Riley's body was discovered. After Ibarra's arrest, police confirmed he wasn't a U.S. citizen, though they weren't sure of his exact immigration status. He had entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and was living in Athens. In August 2023 he was arrested in New York for driving an unregistered, uninsured vehicle, with a 5-year-old child inside. He was charged with reckless endangerment and harming a child. Jose Ibarra was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole on November 20, 2024. Athens Clarke County Superior Court Judge H. Patrick Haggard found Ibarra guilty on all 10 counts. The sentencing followed a 4-day bench trial, as Ibarra had waived his right to a jury trial. Prosecutors did not seek the death penalty, a decision criticized by some, including Georgia state officials and commentators on X, who argued for capital punishment. Ibarra's attorneys filed a motion for a new trial on December 2, 2024, claiming the verdict was contrary to law and contrary to the evidence, with a hearing scheduled for June 2025, in Athens Clarke County. There has been speculation about potential deportation to El Salvador, but Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the White House have not confirmed any plans. The next entry is a man believed to be a serial killer, wanted in multiple countries. Victor Hernandez Martinez. Victor is accused of brutally killing Rachel Morin, a 37-year-old mother of 5, in Harford County, Maryland. On August 5, 2023, Rachel went for a walk on the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail in Bel Air, and never came back. Her body was found the next day. She had been mistreated, suffered multiple head wounds, bruises, and injuries consistent with strangulation and blunt force trauma. At just 24 years old, Martinez Hernandez was charged with murder, mistreatment, and kidnapping. Authorities believe he ambushed Rachel on the trail, then fled the state. But this wasn't his first crime. Victor is also wanted in El Salvador for the January 2023 murder of another woman. After that, he escaped to the U.S., where he committed a violent home invasion in Los Angeles, maltreating a 9-year-old girl and her mother. He stayed with family in Maryland between December 2023 and May 2024, before finally being captured in Tulsa, Oklahoma, on June 14, 2024, after a 10-month manhunt.
I'm here to tell you, Rachel's murderer is no longer a free man.
Authorities now suspect Victor Hernandez Martinez may be a serial killer, targeting women across both Central America and the U.S. He was convicted on April 14, 2025. His sentencing is scheduled for August 11, 2025, at 9:30 a.m. at the Harford County Circuit Court. Prosecutors are seeking life in prison without the possibility of parole and may request additional consecutive sentences. Morin's family will have the opportunity to provide impact statements at the sentencing. Click on the card showing on your screen for more videos.